All praises, all praises, all praises to the heavenly, holy, almighty creator of infinity, eternity, the universe, and all there is. Hello, family. This is Revelations.Unveiled. Detroit, back again with you in the greatest level of humility, honor, privilege, and pleasure. And we are convening and converging, congregating and convocating. We are at the threshold of transition where we bear forth our cranial universes and expose our souls for the heavenly, holy, heated word of the majesty of eternity. All praises. And my continuous petition in prayer and care for the safety, joy, happiness for the brothers and sisters of the world, as well as the 12 tribes of the house of Jacob scattered abroad wherever you may be. And we are back together once again where we are reviewing the heavenly, holy mystery, history of the holy people. And we will be continuing with the Greek captivity of the book of Maccabees, of the Apocryphal text. And it is a wonderful exclamation and expansion of the history that has been denied us. This is history that was removed from the standard books of the Bible by the Protestant Church in an attempt to keep the confusion amongst those who are the true children of light. And so now that we have reclaimed these records, we will sit together in safety and joy and comfort, become still and quiet, and enjoy a sip at the divine wine of the words of wonderment. And so, in the first episode, we were introduced to Alexander the Greek, who expanded his newly created empires from the shores of Egypt all the way to the valleys of India. And though he had a short rule, he spread his kingdom amongst his 4 generals. To wit, out of them came a wicked root named Antiochus Epiphanes. And so under Epiphanes or Antiochus or whatever derivation you like to expose of him, he put out the decree that the holy ones, the children of the covenant, were no more to practice their law and custom and were to cede or to discontinue their heritage and follow the ways of the Greek custom, thereby becoming Hellenized. And the holy sanctuary was defiled with idols and with the sacrifice of swine. And so now we shall pick up in the 2nd chapter of the first book of the Maccabees, of the Apocryphal text. All praises. First Maccabees, chapter 2. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jorib from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons: Johanan, called Caddis, Simon, called Thasi, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar, called Avaran, and Jonathan, whose surname was Aphis. So family, we are now introduced to Mattathias and his sons by their Hebrew names, as well as the names of their captivity, the Greek bywords. And when he saw the blasphemies that were committed in Judah and Jerusalem, he said, "Woe is me! Wherefore I was born to see this misery of my people and of the holy city, and to dwell there, when it was delivered into the hand of the enemy, and the sanctuary into the hand of strangers. Her temple has become as a man without glory. Her glorious vessels are carried away into captivity. Her infants are slain in the streets, her young men with the sword of the enemy. What nation has not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman she has become a bond slave. And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory, is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it. To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? Then Mattathias and his sons tore their clothes and put on sackcloth and mourned very sore. In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city of Modin to make them sacrifice. And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias and also his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias on this wise, You are a ruler and an honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brothers. Now therefore, come you first and fulfill the king's commandments, like as all the heathen have done. Yeah, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem. So shall you and your house be in the number of the king's friends, and you and your children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards. Then Mattathias answered and spoke with a loud voice. Though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brothers walk in the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We will not hear to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandments. Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. Also the king's commissioner, who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at the time, and the altar he pulled down. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phinehas did unto Zambri, the son of Salom. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, Whosoever is zealous of the law and maintains the covenant, let him follow me. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that they ever had in the city. Then many sought after justice, and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there, both they and their children, and their wives, and their cattle, because afflictions increased sore upon them. Now, when it was told the king's servants and the hosts what was done at Jerusalem in the city of David, that certain men who had broken the king's commandments were gone down into the secret places in the wilderness, they pursued after them with a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day. And they said unto them, let that which you have done hereto suffice. Come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and you shall live. But they said, we will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So then they gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay hid, but said, let us die in all our innocency. Heaven and earth will testify for us that you put us to death wrongfully. So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and children and cattle, to the number of 1,000 people. Ooh, fam. So we see that the true children of Judah, the true children of the covenant, offered themselves as a sacrifice after a bold revolt in the city. And be it not for it being the Sabbath, there would have been still a mighty battle. But there was a testimony and a testament to honor the Sabbath and keep it holy. And our brethren, our forefathers, became a living sacrifice. Verse 39. Now when Mattathias and his friends understood hereof, they mourned them right sore. And one of them said to another, if we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives and laws against the heathen, they will now quickly root us out of the earth. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die all, as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. Then came they, and then came there unto him a company of Assyrians, who were mighty men of Israel, even all as such were voluntarily devoted unto the law. All right, fam. So now we have been introduced to a sect of Israelites, some mighty men devoted to the law, called the Assyrians. All they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them, and were a stay unto them. So they joined their forces, and smote sinful men in their anger, and wicked men in their wrath. But the rest fled to the heathen for safety. Then Mattathias and his friends went round about, and pulled down the altars, and what children soever they found within the coast of Israel uncircumcised, those they circumcised valiantly. They pursued also after the proud men, and the work prospered in their hand. So they recovered the law out of the hand of the Gentiles, and out of the hand of kings, neither suffered they the sinner to triumph. Now when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now has pride and rebuke gotten strength at the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation? Now therefore, my sons, be you zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time, so shall you receive great honor and an everlasting name. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation? And it was imputed unto him for righteousness. Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt. Phinehas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant and everlasting priesthood. A Jesus for fulfilling the word was made a judge in Israel. So family, that Jesus was another Jesus, not the holy anointed Messiah. Just a side note. Verse 56, Caleb for bearing witness before the congregation received the heritage of the land. David for being merciful possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elias for being zealous and fervent for the law was taken up into heaven. Ananias, Azarias, and Misael by believing were saved out of the flame. Daniel for his innocency was delivered from the mouth of the lions. And thus consider you throughout all ages that none put their trust in him shall be overcome. Fear not then the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found, because he is returned unto the dust, and his thought is come to nothing. Wherefore, you, my sons, be valiant and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall you obtain glory. And behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel. Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you. As for Judas Maccabeus, he has been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain, and fight the battle of the people. Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge you the wrong of your people. Recompense fully the heathen, and take heed to the commandments of the law. So he blessed them, and was gathered to his fathers. Verse 70. And he died in the 146th year, and his sons buried him in the sepulchres of his fathers at Modin, and all Israel made great lamentation for him. All praises, family. And that was the second chapter of the first book of the Maccabees, where Brother Mattathias and his sons rose up, the Maccabees, to wage war against the heathen and to be that belt of the law against the wayward Israelites who had abandoned and turned away from the covenant of their heritage. And so now we will continue to expand upon the history of the holy warriors of the Greek captivity of the Maccabees. And so, family, as always, it has been a delightful and wonderful pleasure. Lord willing, we shall reconvene in love. And until we are together again, I love you. I love you. I love you. This is Revelations.Unveiled.Detroit.